the income that's coming in, you have it, and so you feel a sense of like, okay, I can breathe because my finances are taken care of. Hi, we're Dustin and Laura Gransberry with Open Your Practice, the business of therapy made simple. Laura, you asked me a question, and we've been debating about this with, people like yourself who are asking this question like, what is this all for? What does success even look like in private practice? Like, what am I working towards? What am I building towards? How do you frame that up, Laura?
For private practice, I've thought about that a lot, actually, and we've sort of boiled it down to 4 S's, if you will. I know, fancy. So
like the alliteration.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about stability, self-care, systems, and satisfaction.
Okay.
But overarchingly, what it means to me is that you have a vision to work backwards from. So I think it's really important that you identify what private practice success looks like for you, because it's different for everybody. So some people, their success in private practice is building to 15 billable hours a week. Some people, it's building to 25. I had a colleague that was given advice that a full-time private practice is 25 billable hours a week. And so she built her practice to 25 hours a week and hated it because it was too much. It was too much for her, and she, did some moving things around, let some clients terminate organically and just didn't take any more, and kind of landed around 18 to 20. And that was much more manageable for her. Just that extra 5 hours a week was, what she was looking for in terms of keeping her self-care going. And, so in terms of what success looks like, you really have to ask yourself, a little introspection and what you want it to look like.
And I laugh not obviously for her discomfort, but because it's up to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's so common to make that mistake. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, ooh, somebody else's plan, I'm going to sign up and do that. Like, well, you could, but then you might get their results or something like that.
Right. And so, there's so many variables, and there's that it depends. What does success look like? It depends. There's that terrible answer again. So we're going to try to put some scaffolding around it for you.
Yeah.
Just some things to think about, because I hate that it depends answer.
Right.
But it, you have to set the vision for what it looks like for you.
Yeah. So if success is set up and it is supported by these 4 S pillars, the first pillar is stability, right? So let's unpack stability a little bit.
Yeah.
I remember when you got there. So what does it actually mean?
That's what it means. It means you can breathe. Stability in my mind, that's kind of funny. My practice is called family stability counseling, so I think a lot about stability, all the time. But in terms of private practice success, I think stability means you are generating cash flow, you are able to pay bills, you're able to pay yourself, you're able to save, you're able to invest in future things, put aside money to go on vacation. You're really at a point where you feel like, those luxuries that come with a job, because there are some, they take taxes off the top so you don't have to think about it.
Yep.
You get PTO, those kinds of things. And it's reliable, right? So those things are now part of your private practice. You've built it to the point where it's stable enough to where you feel like it's generating what you want it to generate and what you need it to generate.
And you can weather a few storms, right? If your billable hours drop, you have enough money set aside that your income will stay consistent. That way, your personal income is not going through the peaks and valleys of your business revenue, right? Which would be one of the traps that we see clinicians get into, which ends up putting them out of practice, is because bad cash flow management habits.
Yeah.
It's also the ability to, pay down debt, be debt free, or aggressively get after your debt because you're managing the income that's coming in. You have it, and so you feel a sense of like, okay, I can breathe because my finances are taken care of.
It's such a big one, the debt piece, because endeavor, private practice or otherwise, getting this credential requires the graduate degree, and you most likely had to go into debt for that. And so many people look to private practice as a way to alleviate the stress from the debt that they're in, as a way, that's the only way I can pay it back, is what that conversation evolves to. So getting out of debt is a big reason people do this.
Yeah.
And I think it's an important one, so if you feel like you can make those student loan payments and you're making progress on that student loan, and that feels really good, it feels stable.
Yeah. What's the next pillar?
The next pillar is self-care. It's one of the hardest ones for me.
I think we talk about that so often.
We do.
Because it's
hard for me.
It's crucial, right? But when you're running around and you care so much about how other people are doing and you're taking care of them, you end up being the last person that you think about and schedule in time and are intentional about taking care of, because you're taking all of your energy is going towards taking care of others. Is that familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's totally me. I give of myself to others first, and I give to myself last. And it's I think that's a fabulous recipe for burnout. I've been there before, and I think that self-care, I can't talk about it enough. I talk about it with my students all the time. I'm constantly trying, because it's effortful for me. It's so easy for me to give of myself to other people, and it's effortful to give back to me. So I constantly, I have to have it top of mind. I've created a discipline around, like, I feel unbalanced. What's wrong? Oh, no wonder my self-care is out of whack. So part of private practice success for me is staying on top of my self-care.
Yeah. So it's conscious awareness, like bringing an intentionality to self-care is important. I mean, that you say that to people all the time, other people that you're taking care of, but to yourself, maybe not as much. So you have to be intentional about it. You have to have a conscious awareness about it. And then it takes discipline. You actually have to structure in your schedule deliberate self-care so that it becomes a habit. It becomes discipline. Now, massive benefits if you do it.
Yeah, you feel better. And, we talk about this in the course, like your clients benefit. When your gas tank is full, you have more to give. And you are a better clinician.
Yeah. Well, I think you're a better clinician if you're not taking on maybe the wrong clients because you need money or you're stressed about money. Certainly you're a better clinician. You have more to give if your gas tank is full, so to speak, if you're doing the self-care.
Yeah.
The next one I think also ties in with that, and I'm such a strong proponent of it because of my business background, which is systems, right? There's so much context switching that happens when you say, like, I'm going to do this thing, and I'm going to do this thing, and I'm going to do this thing. And businesses have so many different things that you have to do. It's exhausting for small business owners and entrepreneurs like private practice clinicians without systems in place to essentially do all of that thinking for you. You need the business equivalent of heuristic devices so that you don't have to think about every little thing that needs to get done. And there are lots of little things that need to get done.
So many.
It's exhausting to chase down this insurance claim, and I've got to do this
scheduling and charting and blah, 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 and thankfully, there's digital practice management systems that have solved a lot of that. But getting them, picking one, setting it up correctly, making it work for you to its maximum potential, it's important. Yeah. And so there's all the, the different systems when you connect with your CPA and get all that. They're going to have a system that they want you to continue to check in with in terms of what you report to them, how you report it to them, all of those things.
Yeah.
But systems create efficiency.
Yes.
Which is the name of the game always.
But why? Why would efficiency be the name of the game? And that is because so many people that we talk to, and you probably are going to see them in your practice, while they're at work, they're thinking about not being at work. And when they're home, they're thinking about work, or at least the guilt about the work that they didn't do when they were at work, when they were thinking about home, and then they were feeling guilty about thinking about home while they were at work. So it's this vicious cycle that you get caught into. And if you have systems in place, you can efficiently do your work when you're working, and then check out of it so you can go live life. And that's really what this is about, right? So you have more money, more care, more life,
more time.
Which leads definitely into the fourth pillar here, which is satisfaction.
Yes.
Right? My mom always said, I don't know if you ever heard this.
Maybe not.
That curiosity killed the cat.
Yes, you've said that.
But satisfaction brought him back.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's cool. Right? So we want you to feel good about the work that you do and to have fun living your life, right?
Yeah. This is really about building something that you feel good about, but that feels like you are having fun doing it. You know, there's so few people that can say that they love their job. And I think it's true. I mean, there's some statistic out there, I'm sure, about what that is, you know, how many people actually can say they love their job. But it is small. Mm-hmm. It is a small number. And so if you have this amazing opportunity in this process to build something for you, by you, and therefore you get to determine what it looks like. And how cool is that? Yeah. You know, there's just being satisfied with what you built and how you built it and how it's working for you, I think is a big marker of success here. Like looking at your progress and looking at what you have done and completed and built. You know, sometimes I just sit in my office and I'm like, man, like I put this all together. Like this is really cool. Yeah. So, and that's really satisfying and a marker of success for me. Mm-hmm.
And so you and I both talked to clinicians that are further down the track in terms of private practice, and many of them like, I wish that I didn't structure it this way. Like I might have made some mistakes early on. Others are just, you know, getting out of grad school and they're saying, you know, how do I make sure that I'm setting this up for success and that I don't end up building something that I am trapped in? Like, you know, that's not going to make me happy.
Nope.
But you don't know what you don't know. And you certainly don't know what you don't know that you don't know. And that's a tricky thing. It's even a tongue twister. I'm surprised I got that out.
I'm surprised you did too.
So, you know, we have resources for you to help you along this journey because it can be confusing. And, you know, we've been there, right? We've figured this stuff out. And we're committed to helping this process be way easier than it was when we went through it. So just to recap, the 4 pillars of private practice success:
stability, self-care, systems, and satisfaction.
I think you need all 4 of those. So make sure that you follow us on all the social medias because we're active, at least in all the good ones. Mm-hmm. Comment on this video. If this was valuable to you, please subscribe, follow us so that you get all the new, latest, greatest content that comes out from Open Your Practice. Yeah. And we're really looking forward to connecting with you, so we'll see you next time.